my topic,
Is it karaoke?
Yeah, actually. So I have I call it the tremendous opportunity to talk to you guys about balancing human leadership and technology leadership. But before I begin, I wanted to introduce myself for you guys that didn't see that because you were jamming to the music. But I'm Michelle James Dirksen, and I am the technology director for Humphreys County School System. And many of you will hear the word credentials. So I wanted to share with you all my credentials. And the reason I am putting this up right now is because I want you all to pay attention to when you use your credentials talking to your team and talking to your end users or talking to the people in your district. Sometimes these can get intimidating. I'm showing you my credentials because you guys obviously are leaders in your district, and I want you to pay attention to what I'm talking about. But what I have found out in my journey, especially when I'm talking to my department, talking to my teachers, talking to the students, they get intimidated by technology. And then when somebody like me comes in and I start talking about technology, or I send an email about technology, they're already not paying attention to me. So I want you to take away, engage your team. And I call my department a team for a reason, and you'll get to understand why. But the big thing in technology is engaging the human, right? So together we're gonna build that Disneyland in educational choice. And this is a really good way to start. So what is human leadership? Any guesses? All right, I'll share my experience with you. So I've been in technology now for over 25 years. And I love my job. I have a passion for technology. I've learned throughout my career, I have a passion for educational technology. I love this environment. I love meeting people. I love talking to people about it. My hardest part in all of this, still to this day, is the human. You could give me a system, a problem, I can give you a solution, right? I'm very analytical in my thinking. How do I lead humans? I'm in my position, probably like many of you were asked to be in your position because you're good at what you do, right? You stood out. Your journey made you very proficient at what you do, and somebody recognized that and somebody saw it and they said, hey, we need you. We need your talent. Now you're gonna be leading this group of people. But in that journey, did anyone teach you how to lead humans? So now what? I'm sitting in front of a computer, all my analytics, systems, network, and I know some of you, that's not what you do day to day, so, core concept, kind of put that into your day to day. You have all the solutions, but you're one person, right? You're just one person. Now, you have to teach that to a group of people to get the job done. How do you do that? Raise your hand if you have enough time during the day to do that. Raise your hand, right? So that's the second biggest hurdle, is the time. Time. None of it. I would love to have more time. I hear my teachers say, I don't have the time to learn that. I don't have the time to read that. I don't have time to watch a 30-second video. So how do you build a team? How do you build a team that can do that for you? Simon Sinek, if you guys don't know who he is a motivational speaker, and I actually follow a lot of his podcasts, a lot of his TED Talks, and he has some great concepts on how to do this. And I just have a segment of something that caught my attention when he was talking about it. I wanted to share with you all.
Leadership is perhaps one of the most misunderstood subjects in business. Leadership has nothing to do with rank. I know many people who sit at the highest levels of an organization who are not leaders. We do as they tell us because they have authority over us, but we do not trust them and we do not follow them. I also know people at low levels of organizations that have no formal authority, but they've made a choice. The choice to look after the person to the left of them, the choice to look after the person to the right of them, and we would trust them and follow them anywhere. Leadership is the awesome responsibility to see those around us rise. You, every one of us, can choose to be the leader we wish we had. We lead our teams and we can lead our clients when we decide that we will do everything in our power to see them rise, to see them achieve their ambitions and their dreams. And this is what servant leadership means. I serve your dream rather than you serve my bottom line. And it's totally fine to have financial goals. It's totally fine to have metrics, because that becomes the proof of value that somebody wants to give you their money because they believe in you. It is proof positive. But the best leaders I know are students of leadership. There's no such thing as an expert leader. It doesn't exist. Like there's no such thing as an expert parent. It doesn't exist. Right? We are students of leadership. And even the most senior leaders constantly are reading books, reading articles, watching talks, having conversations all the time about leadership. They're always in learning mode. And I think for anyone who wants to be a leader, you have to choose to be a student of the subject. Like anything, if you want to be good at something, you have to study it. And the most ignored characteristic of leadership, we talk about vision and charisma. Yes, these are important. But I have known some wonderful leaders who don't have huge role-changing vision. I've known some wonderful leaders that are quiet and sit in the corner, but they all have courage. The courage to advance a vision, the courage to ignore the short-term ups and downs of the business, the courage to take risks on people, the courage to believe in people, the courage to speak truth to power, the courage to do the right thing and have integrity. I think courage is a very undervalued characteristic of leadership.
And now, in education, especially educational technology, this is the most exciting I've ever seen the pace in technology. It changes. It has changed so rapidly from day to day to day. Find the people with the courage that you can count on, because you're going to need them. So how do you find them? And how do you bring them together, right? Communication. Everybody says communication, but it's not just communicating to your team. It's like Lonnie was saying, the omnidirection, right? We have to reach an entire district, right? I have to be able to reach my kindergarten teachers, all the way up to my vocational teachers. I have to incorporate technology, educational technology. My team has to do that so that it is successful. If you're not communicating with your technology department in your school district, you're not going to succeed with the technology you're putting in the classrooms. You're not going to build that Disneyland experience. I tell my school district all the time when I'm talking to my teachers, if you're not communicating with me, I'm not helping you. I can decide to put a classroom set of Chromebooks in because that's what we have the funding for, and I can get more of those devices because the price point was really good. And then I go and I have my technicians deliver them to that classroom. Did I talk to the teacher once about how they use the technology? Did I engage that teacher in how they're planning on using it? Did I ask that teacher, how long do you need this particular device to last in your environment? Can it change? Can it adapt? Communication is key. So if you have an IT department that seems to be kind of closed off and not open for feedback, is that really the best thing for your district? So, kind of alluded to this. My technicians are not getting paid what they're worth. We all know that. They all know that. Budgets, we all have to work with budgets. They're handed down. I wish, we all wish we could pay the people that work for us more. But we are a public school system. We are publicly funded. So, how do you get those specialized people to work for you? How do you retain them? I sat and I thought about that for a long time. I know you're not getting paid what you're worth, and have these conversations. And I know that you have a choice to go somewhere else. But why? Why do you want to work for me? Why do you want to be a technician in this technology team's place? What is it? What are you passionate about? From there, offer an opportunity for them to expand and grow. Your job as a leader is to find those things and those people and lift them up, right? Now I know that I can probably tackle a problem with a new technician receives faster than they can, but I gotta stop. I gotta let them do it. I have to start trusting my team at some point, because I'll get burnt out if I don't build the team that my district needs. All right, that's where the courage comes in. But again, ask why they want to come work for you. Then, with that, create a mission statement. It's not just them who needs to see that mission statement and be reminded of it. It's the parents in your school district, right? I see a lot of school districts that miss the opportunity to talk to and actually broadcast what their technology is doing in their school, right? The exciting things. What is the technology doing? We're bringing in robotics, right? We're trying to build up the Disneyland experience, but nobody's gonna know that unless we're communicating it, and nobody's gonna be reminded of it if people can't see it. So we have our mission statement on our website. We've launched it social media, right? The omnidirection approach. So now we're engaging parents. Now we're engaging students. Now we're engaging teachers. Now we're engaging departments. All right. But everybody has to be on the same page, because I don't like chaos, and I like everything to be uniform from one side of my district to the other. Ask the people under you, how do you communicate? What do you prefer? Some people don't like calls. Some people don't like in the middle of the day chats, texts. Ask the people that you're directly in charge of, what is the best way I can communicate with you? Because time is precious, not only for you, but for them. This is also a great way to start introducing concepts of taking the risk on them, letting them own a part of the network, use their strengths and their abilities, build on those, and allow them to start running with certain projects that aren't system critical, but new ideas, innovation, creativity. My technicians have advanced so much that now I have a rule. Ask two before you, meaning they have to ask two of their counterparts before they even think to call me. because I want them to build the confidence. That's my job. I want them to understand they're capable of doing things. And if they can't get it done, call me, because if I have to be involved, that's an expensive problem. But I know that there are things that they can handle, and I know that they're capable of bouncing ideas off of each other. That's where the innovation happens. That's where the creativity happens. I am an analytical person. I love metrics. So I'm telling you all this. I'm going to speed it up. So I am telling you all this, and I want to share with you the success that my department has had over the past 2 years. And mind you, we've gone through a flood, we've had devastation, gone through COVID, all kinds of, I walked into, basically had no network. So in 2 years, my team and I have been able to do the following. All right, you're seeing device counts. We have basically rebuilt our network from the ground up. My strength is I'm a solutions architect, right? I've had all kinds of journeys in my life with technology, and I've had advanced training on being a solutions architect. That's my passion, that's my strength. I've segmented my department, so now we have specialized network engineer, and we have a specialized cybersecurity department. We have specialized software and new application integrations. In 2 years' time, we've been able to do this. So why is this huge? Why am I saying this now? I'm not trying to brag. I'm trying to get you to look at departments more so as teams and different ways to approach technology in your school districts. So this is why this is huge. Meet my team. I have 3 technicians in my center. We have rebuilt our school systems network to now have disaster recovery plans. We have literally overhauled every teacher station, student station. We've implemented interactive panels. We have migrated, who's done a migration from Google Workspace to Microsoft 365, including Exchange Online. Did that in 1 week. 1 week in-house. We do stuff in-house. We're starting to do some of our cabling a little bit out of house, but most of the stuff we do in-house. So these 3, yes, they're superheroes, and myself. Time management. Use technology as your assistant. It's not only critical for the teachers and the students, it is critical that you start understanding and become familiar with how technology can help you with your day-to-day tasks. HR, administration, scheduling. So what my leadership looks like to them. Oh goodness. So each tech is over a school plus more. So right now we have 7 school systems, or 7 schools in our system. They pretty much have 2 schools, plus handling cybersecurity threats, plus handling network outages, which we have very minimal of, your day-to-day. And then there's, how do we keep up to date? We have a level 10 meeting every 2 weeks. We allocate a day every 2 weeks to do this so I can keep them up to date on what's going on. A level 10 meeting, anybody know what a level 10 meeting is? Level 10. So those are meetings, and this is also a part of leadership I think we need to start understanding. When I have a meeting with my team, at the end of it, they rank me on a scale of 1 to 10. Did I deliver something that they needed to know, that they found useful? Did it waste their time? And I take that and I use it to create new meetings going forward, because I am not going to waste their valuable time. Feedback is critical. Doesn't matter where, from students, teachers, your department, your team, everywhere. Be open to feedback, especially running an IT department. Because if you are not open to feedback, you're gonna fail. You're not gonna know it all. And your solutions aren't gonna be a one solution fits all. You have to be open to feedback. right? Omnidirectional. So we're no longer using the approach of, when I say something, my team members say this, and so on and so forth. This is how it's gonna be. It's not how we do things in my district anymore. We are finding new ways to get the students the technology that they need and feel comfortable with a teacher that feels comfortable introducing that to them. That takes a lot. So it's not just me and my communication ends with my team. It is everywhere. Not only that, you gotta jazz it up. You have to make your mark, right? So if I'm just sending out emails all the time, nobody's gonna listen. Nobody's probably gonna retain anything I say. Chances are, I may not speak in such a way that I'm engaging you, or engaging you back there, or engaging someone else back here. Use other people on your team to present core concepts. It doesn't have to be just me. We're all different, and we all have different personality traits. So now I've taken it to the next level where my technicians are actually teaching during and instructing on different educational technologies we have in the classroom. They're teaching their own campuses during maybe faculty meetings or times that they can just sign up for on their calendar. But they are also instructing our end users on how to use the latest and greatest that we've just offered. Tech coaches. We've just implemented tech coaches. I've heard all about tech coaches for years and years and years. Thought it was a fabulous idea because, again, I don't know how to instruct. I'm not a teacher. I have no idea what it's like to stand in front of a classroom of students other than me telling them don't touch that or don't break. But I don't know. I don't know what it takes to get into their minds, right? That person, that teacher does. And I am there to help he or she or they. That's my job. Tech coaches are great, right? Because they have a passion for technology, but they've also been a teacher. Find creative ways to build that gap. So we talked about engaging end users, use technology to do that. AI is great. I know we've gone through a whole bunch of AI scenarios. So how to stay on top? Do things like we're doing today. Talk, network. I laugh when I say that because I'm thinking of my team every time they laugh at me when we're on a virtual call and I say that. I don't just mean systems networking. I mean use people. Find people that specialize in stuff. When you're at these events, find people that are good at digital signage. Find people that are great at AI concepts. Find people. Because the idea is I am not going to know everything there is to know about everything in technology. That's just a given. It changes. But I have to know where to find the information as swiftly as I can. And I have to know how to learn it. Okay. So, some final tips, takeaways. Many hands do light work. Don't be afraid to reach out to other departments when you're doing, oh goodness, mass installs of hardware, things like that. Start looking at, it's not just this department that does that. It's not just that department that does that. Help each other. My school district has been so great at starting that concept. Help each other. Also, don't be afraid to fail. Innovation can't exist if something didn't fail once. So on those non-critical systems, the idea of incorporating AI calendar, right? Those types of creative things, that's what's going to get us to where we need to be with our younger generation. Ask the younger generation when you're in the hallways, or ask the teachers. So what did your student think of this? If you're passing a student in the hallway or you walk into a lab, how many of you are asking your students what they like? If they like the assessment that they just did, or they like the program that they just did, or if they like the lab that they just did. How many of you are engaging your students in that? They are who we're trying to reach. Ask them. I promise you they will tell you. And they will be very honest about it. Build a team and not a department. I like team. Department, team. Everybody's on the same playing field, and we can all learn from each other, and we can all use each other's strengths. I am approachable, and everyone in your district needs to know and have that attitude. I am approachable. Doesn't matter what my title is. I'm approachable, and I'll make time to hear you. Feedback. Be open to feedback. Don't be afraid of it. Send out surveys. Send out stuff to your teachers. Send out stuff to your administrators. Parents, don't be closed off to feedback. You can't get better if you don't get that. Ask your team. Is there a better way we could approach this? Roundtable discussions with every department. And if you're not having a seat at that table, make a seat at the table. Somebody from technology needs to be sitting at every roundtable discussion you have in your district. Because technology now can work with everything that you all are doing. It doesn't matter if it's instruction or if it's payroll. But there could be some way to save you time and your students' time and your teachers' time. But you have to be there in those discussions to begin with. But I think, and be a constant student. That was the last. Always be a student of what you're doing for your district and how to lead in human leadership. Always be a student. All right, questions? I know you guys got some. Yes, ma'am.
You know, I always have one, so that's the way I roll. Michelle, you said, this one I would like to know, you said, you know, be willing to fail.
Yes.
Share that out.
So,
like failing, like they want to know what other people have done to screw up. If you're willing, you don't have to.
I am willing. I am willing. So, one of our latest failures. Okay, so we are a Microsoft 365 environment, and this scenario is going to tap back on you know, risk and having you know, just supporting your team. So we had a 90 device launch for some Microsoft Surfaces recently that we had to get out in a swift amount of time to our eighth grade class in one of our schools. And I had thought I had trained one of my technicians to know how to provision that correctly and Intune, and there's a lot that goes into that. I let him roll with it. I let him own that particular project. Didn't really get executed as well as I hoped for. So did we have to bring all 90 devices back and re-provision them? Yes, we did. Did he learn from that? Yes, he did.
That sounds a good thing then.
It is a great thing. Failing, if you don't fail, you're not gonna learn the concept, the core thing that failing teaches you. You're gonna understand what the project consisted of more so, especially in project management. But if you don't feel that failure, right? This is also how I judge a good technician from a mediocre technician, because if that particular technician doesn't feel that, oh, I don't know, he may not be cut out to be doing what he's doing. But that person did, right? So I'm actually learning something as their leader, as their supervisor. Well, they're learning something about project management and how to make sure. I could tell him all day long,
yeah, follow
this, and this, and this, and this. But if I hovered over him the entire step of the way, would he have learned as much as he learned in that moment when those 90 devices failed? Probably not.
Okay, well, this is awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.